You never met her, because I was too scared. Not because she's not worth meeting. Not because I'm ashamed. Not even close. She's actually the one who gives my day meaning. She's the kind of person who makes the ordinary feel special. She makes the quiet moments feel warm. And when I'm with her, I feel more like myself than I ever have. But when it came to showing her to you, to letting you know she's the person I care about, I froze. Every single time. It's strange. Really, how can someone be so proud of the person they're with and yet be so scared to introduce them? I thought about it a lot. I'd sit there, phone in hand, looking at her photo. That smile she has when she's not trying too hard, just being her. That smile lights up something in me. I'd look at it and think, this is the kind of person I wish you could meet. But just when I'd feel ready, your voice would echo in my mind. That voice filled with expectations. The kind that doesn't always say much but says everything in silence. You've always had this way of making your opinions clear without needing many words. A raised eyebrow, a tight-lipped smile, a long pause. I know those signs. I grew up reading them like a second language. So when I imagined introducing her to you, I didn't just imagine the meeting. I imagined your reaction. Your eyes scanning her. Your mind ticking off boxes. Your judgment, quiet, but sharp. She's not from the kind of background you used to say was right for me. She doesn't come from the places you once hoped I'd choose from. She speaks with her own rhythm, has her own dreams. And that scares me. Because if you look at her, like she's not good enough even for a second, I don't know if I could handle that. I don't know how I'd explain to her why you looked at her that way. I don't want her to be hurt, and I don't want to feel like I brought that pain into her life. She doesn't know how nervous I get about this. She thinks I'm just taking my time. She trusts me. And that's what scares me even more. She's been so patient, so calm, so understanding. She doesn't pressure me, but she hopes. I see it in her eyes when she asks me, "Did you talk to them yet?" And every time I say, "Not yet," I see a little bit of light dim in her eyes. Not completely, just a little. But it hurts, because she deserves more than not yet. I remember one night she sent me a picture. She'd done her hair in a way she never had before. Just for me. She said, "I want to look nice when I finally meet your people." And that broke me in a quiet way. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was so soft, so real. She didn't say it with sadness, just hope, but I wasn't ready. I stared at that photo for a long time, imagining how you would react. Would you smile but fake it? Would you say she's fine, but leave a but hanging in the air? I started small, mentioning her name in passing, talking about little things she did. How she made me tea when I was stressed, how she remembered the stories I told her weeks ago, how she always made me feel heard. You didn't say much when I brought her up, just nodded, changed the topic. I couldn't tell if that was your way of saying I don't care, or if you were just not ready. Either way, I felt myself pulling back again. She never asked for much, just to be seen, to be accepted. She wasn't asking to be celebrated, just not hidden. And I realized I was doing that. Not intentionally, but I was keeping her in the shadows. Protecting her, yes, but also keeping her from being part of my full life. That realization hurt, because I love her, deeply. Not the surface-level love, not the showy kind, but the kind where you look at someone and feel calm, safe, understood. That's what she gives me. She listens without interrupting. She lets me be quiet without making it feel awkward. She knows when I need space and when I need a hand. That's rare, and I didn't want to keep that hidden anymore. So I made a plan. I'd start dropping her photo into our family group chat. Nothing big, just casual. "Look what she made today," or "She got this dress for an event we're attending." Soft introductions. Some replied politely, others didn't reply at all. And that silence, it screamed. It said more than any words. I almost stopped there, but then I remembered. It's not about you being ready. It's about me being tired of hiding. So I told her I'd bring her to the next small family gathering. Nothing huge, just a few people. I figured if it got weird or tense, we could leave early. The night before the gathering, I couldn't sleep. My chest felt tight. My hands wouldn't stay still. I kept thinking about how she'd walk into that room, eyes scanning, trying to figure out if she was welcome or just tolerated. I imagined your face, that distant look, that polite nod that doesn't reach your eyes. And I hated imagining it. Because she didn't need to come. She didn't force this. She just said, "If you want me there, I'll come. But only if you really want it." That morning, I stood in front of the mirror and said to myself, "This is it." When she called to ask, "Should I still come?" I didn't hesitate. "Yes, please." I got to the gathering a little early. Tried to act normal, but I couldn't. My eyes kept going to the door. My thoughts were loud. Then she walked in. Simple, elegant, her usual quiet beauty. She smiled when she saw me, and I felt my heart slow down. I walked to her quickly, took her hand. "You look perfect," I whispered. Some people noticed, smiled, nodded. A few introduced themselves. Nothing dramatic. But even that felt like a huge step. No one said anything rude, at least not out loud. But I saw the looks. Curious, measuring, judging. Some still didn't come over. That hurt. But I stayed beside her. We sat together, ate, talked a little. Later, one of the older relatives pulled me aside. "She's different," they said. "Not cruel, just cautious." I nodded. "I know, that's why I chose her." They didn't argue, just nodded again. I wasn't sure if that meant they understood or if they gave up trying. But for now, it was enough. That night in the car, she asked, "How do you think it went?" I exhaled. Better than I feared. Not perfect, but better. She squeezed my hand. "Thank you for not hiding me today." I looked at her. "I don't ever want to hide you again." And I meant it. A few days later, the messages started coming in. Some were fine. She seemed sweet. Others not so fine. "Are you serious about her?" Or worse, "She doesn't look like someone who fits into our family." That one stayed with me. Not because I believed it, but because I knew what they meant. They didn't see her soul. They saw her background, her accent, her clothes, the way she didn't try to fit a mold. I didn't show her those messages. I didn't want her to feel small, but she noticed something was off. "You've been quiet," she said one night. "Are people saying things?" I nodded. "Yeah. Some don't understand." She looked down. "Do you think it'll get worse?" I didn't lie. "Maybe." She asked me something then, something soft, but heavy. "Would you still choose me even if it gets harder?" I took her hands in mine, looked at her. "I already chose you. Every single day I choose you. Even if they talk. Even if they judge. Even if they never fully accept. I'm not walking away." Later that week, one of my cousins called. "Can we talk?" We met at a cafe. He was blunt. "People are saying things. They're saying she's using you, that you've changed." I let him speak. Then I said, "Maybe I have changed. Maybe I finally found someone real enough to make me want to be better. Different doesn't mean wrong." When I got home that night, she was sitting on the steps waiting for me. She smiled, but I could tell she'd been thinking, worrying. I didn't let her ask. I hugged her and said, "No matter what they say, I'm not going anywhere," she whispered. "Promise?" I pulled back, looked in her eyes. "I don't break promises, not with you." And that was the moment I knew, no matter how long it takes for the world to catch up, I'll stand by her. Because love isn't about fitting in. It's about showing up, staying close, protecting what matters. And she matters. She's not a secret anymore. She's not someone I talk about in passing. She's part of my life. Fully. And I'll keep choosing her, again and again, even if it's hard. even if it's messy. Because she's worth every bit of it.